Well, hello there, lovely and loyal patrons. It's your best buddy in all the land. It's me, your good friend, Uncle Ben Eller, and I want to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It means more to me than I can ever express to you guys. You guys are buying treats for Turkey and Zora, the cutest dogs in the world, and helping keep my bills paid in these trying times. So thank you guys very much. Least I can do is give you all some more cool and creative stuff to work with and expand the boundaries of your playing, the limits of your imagination, and yada yada yada, right? Now, you're probably here because you watched the Fun with Drop D tuning video where I showed you guys major chords, minor chords, sus chords, some inversions, all kinds of other cool stuff. But of course, there's a world beyond that. Again, if that's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, today we're talking about Rocky Road. We're talking about the moose tracks. I'm giving you guys the rainbow sherbets, whatever it is that you want. It's right here by expanding our chord vocabularies. Now this is going to be a little theory-ish, just like the last video, but hey, that's a good thing, right? If you're going to live here, you might as well learn the lingo and be able to communicate with other players and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk about a couple of other chord types here. Major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and the elusive minor major 7 chord. Also known as the James Bond chord, right? The film noir sound. Now these can add a lot of dimension and cool harmony and stuff to your playing, and a lot of people think of these as being very like jazzy chords or whatever. But you know, again, with the way that the modern metal scene and the prog scene and all that kind of stuff is getting more jazzy, and of course there's all like, you know, neo soul guys out there throwing in some really big expensive chords into their playing. This is great stuff to know because a lot of people don't know how to play these in standard tuning, much less in drop D tuning. Let's talk about some basic ones first here. Okay, so if this was major, again, we said that was root, 5th, 3rd, right? Well, here's the cool thing about this too. You can use your ring finger here on the G string, right? That's your 5th, but up 1 octave. Remember how I had root, root up an octave? Well, now you can have 5th, 5th up an octave. Kind of like the, you know, 4-note power chord Meshuggah uses, I guess you could say. It's like root 5th, root 5th. Now, we can add that into our major chord, just for kind of a brighter kind of tonality. That's cool. But if you can also get the B string on the same fret as the G string, like this. There's that jazzy Mr. Rogers kind of sound. That magical note that we just added in is the major 7th. Okay, follow me along here. Root note, up an octave, root note. According to the major scale, anywhere the root is, the 7 is right behind it, right? And the formula for a major 7 chord is 1, 3, 5, 7. So we can get ourselves a really awesome jazzy major 7 tonality like that. Again, in certain areas, you got to have like Holdsworth hands to make that work, so I wish you luck. You could also divide this among 2 guitars. One guitar player plays this, the other guitar player plays this. You get a cool layered sound or whatever. So in some areas that's a little precarious, but right here in the G position, ooh, it feels and sounds so very nice. Now you can use that major 7 on your 1 or your 4. Replace either of those major chords with a major 7 for a more jazzy kind of sound. We'll get to the 5 here in a second. Now the minors are usually 1, 5, and flat 3, right? 1, flat 3, 5. Again, we can add in that high 5 if we want to. And then octave, octave, octave of the root, right? If you move down 1 whole step below that on the B string, you end up with this shape. Isn't that cool? The formula we're playing now is root 5th, flat 3rd, 5th, flat 7. Again, a regular 7 is right behind the root. A flat 7 is a step below the root. This is also really easy to play, so you can see you kind of do the bar here on the bottom, and then you have sort of stair steps here with your other fingers. I'm not getting the high E string in this. You could if you wanted to. That's your 9th in that case. Be like a minor 7 add 9 chord. Really cool sound, I like that a lot. But if you want just minor 7, don't play the high E. You can replace any of your minor chords with those. Your 2 chord, your 3 chord, or your 6 chord. You can make jazzier by making them minor 7 instead. Really cool tonality. Now, there on the 5, right? The 5 is usually a major chord. We can't replace it with a major 7. That would give us an out of key note, the C sharp note. It's not in the key of G. That doesn't work. Instead, the magical thing that happens with the 5 chord is instead of being a major, it gets replaced with a dominant chord, sometimes just called a 7 chord. This has the same basic anatomy as a major chord with its root, 5th, and 3rd, and high 5th. Only the thing that makes a dominant chord sound so funky is the addition of a flat 7, like what you put in that minor 7 chord a second ago. Again, it's a pretty comfy grip. Some positions that'll get kind of awkward, but you know, again, if that's the root, that's the root, that's the root, one whole step down, you get that flat 7. You can hear that sounds really funky. Kind of that bluesy or like Beatlesy kind of sound, right? And again, that's what you would do on the 5 chord instead of a major 7 or whatever. So if we go through the key of G here, we could have G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, D dominant 7, or just D7. Our 6th chord here is going to be E minor 7. The 7 chord, okay, in like jazz harmony, the 7 chord goes from being a diminished to being a half diminished or minor 7 flat 5 chord. Root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, flat 7th. There's really no good way to play that one. I tried a lot of different options and stuff. I could not really find one in drop tuning that worked very well. They're all like hella awkward like this. Like I'm not playing that on stage, no way. They get really awkward to play, so. But again, don't worry about it. Just replace it with that cool little inversion that we talked about, and you're gonna be in business. And again, those are really cool things you can do just to spice up any progression. Instead of the 1, it could be major, or it could be major 7. Instead of the 2, it could be minor or minor 7. Your 3, minor or minor 7. 4, major, major 7. 5, major, dominant 7. 6, minor, minor 7. 7, diminished, inversion. It's a good option. Back to your 1 again right there. The one other chord type you should know about is that minor major 7, which you might be able to figure out what this is just based on the name. It's like a minor, only it has the major 7 interval added in. Root, 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 7, right? So that means the chord shape is going to look like this. Again, that's James Bond. That's film noir stuff right there. It's not technically in key anywhere. You know, there's nowhere that fits. Like if you put it on 2, it's out of key. The 3, it's out of key. The 6, it's out of key. But who cares, right? Again, it's music tendencies. It's music theory. It's not music fact. If it sounds cool, it sounds cool. If you listen to the Faceless, you've heard these chords a lot. That's just kind of putting them in random orders and stuff, but they sound really cool and kind of spooky. So again, that's a really cool chord type to know in that drop tuning to mix up your playing and add some variety to your life. Be sure to grab all the charts and stuff down below, right underneath the post here on Patreon in like red. It'll have like a PDF of everything that's in this lesson, give you all those chord shapes and stuff like that. The downloads on Patreon are kind of hard to find because they are very, very small, but it's always in like red text right underneath the video and text and stuff of my posts. So be sure to grab those on there and download them and come up with some cool stuff. Send me your videos. You guys here on Patreon can tag me on Instagram at BenEllerGuitars or send me your videos in an email, benellerguitars@gmail.com. I would love to hear them. I'd love to check them out and hear how you guys are implementing these cool new chord shapes into your playing. Also, if you got any questions about anything we talked about in these videos, be sure to leave them in the comments on the Patreon page, preferably. That way everybody can see them and read them and respond and stuff like that. If you put them here on the comments on a private video, a lot of people won't see them. So leave your questions and stuff there on the actual Patreon post, and I'll get back to you lickety-split. Again, you guys are freaking awesome. Thank you all so much for the support. It means the world to me. Hope everybody out there is staying healthy, wealthy, and wise, and getting plenty of guitar shredding time in. I'll catch up with you guys on the flip side. In the meantime, get all this information and put it to use and play nice.